you also referred to Kyrie being away for 2 weeks. What can you tell me? What do you know? What can you share about why he was away, for him being away at all, Richard?
Well,
what happened?
There hasn't been much, clarification. There hasn't been much communication. I think, professional sports, as you guys know, is one of those things where it's like you don't really get a break. It's like you have your off season, and when you're in season, you're expected to be on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? I used to joke and tell people that I don't know what day of the week it is, because our days of the week go travel day, practice day, game day, off day. Like, that's all we had. There is no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so I think, whatever it was, if there was things going on in his personal life that he needed to address, if there was things that were going on, maybe with a family member that he needed to address, and he needed some time away just for, whether it's mental or emotional clarity, that's fine. But I will say this, he didn't play for 2 weeks, and that man went out and he scored 38 last night and played 46 minutes. So as much as we want to criticize him for needing that time away and a lack of communication, I think that was the big part, a lack of communication. He was in very good shape. He was still working out. He didn't just I'm going to go to the Bahamas and eat and drink and take my time off and I need time. No, he was working out. He was doing the things that were necessary for him to show back up to his team and be effective. So as far as I'm concerned, this was a personal matter. He needed to time off. He needed to do a better job of communicating very, very early to his team, not to the media, not to the fans, to his team. That's the part that added a lot of skepticism to what was going on. And then there was obviously other issues, but that was the part that I think he recognized that he needed to do a better job. But to his credit, he was in shape and he didn't just take time off.
Well, and here's the thing, because again, I don't know him. I've never really met him, Richard. So I'm not one of those types to sit in a chair like this in front of a microphone like this and a platform like this and just fire away because I didn't like his body language in a Zoom, But the question I do have, and maybe you can help me here, is he does seem like a very conscientious thinker of a player who has a platform that he thought he should give up because the social injustice going on in this country, in his mind, was more important for him to pay attention to and throw all of his energies in rather than go to a bubble, which obviously he wasn't going to go to anyway. But my point is this, is if there is something that was going on, even if it was a private matter, to use his platform to tell people, hey, this is the stuff that athletes go through, and we know this is what I go through something similar, you too, and maybe use this platform to communicate that to even fans who definitely want to know, does this guy, care for me to invest myself into watching a game like last night? Like, that's the issue, Richard.
And I agree. And it's weird because it's like, I've expressed this to people. Kyrie, and I know this is going to sound probably not, nobody owes anything to anybody. I know that sounds very selfish. And I know the fans, you're like, well, the fans support you and the fans watch you and the fans do this and the fans do that. That is true. But if Kyrie were to retire tomorrow, he doesn't owe an explanation. Kyrie could disappear. Kevin Durant could disappear. We've seen it from guys like Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, guys in the prime of their career were
Andrew
I'm
Luck.
done.
Yeah,
I'm not. I just want to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for Kyrie, the people that matter most, and why I think there was a fair amount of criticism on him, it was because the lack of communication with his team. Now, when he came back, he addressed the team. He addressed the people that mattered within the organization, because I stand this. He needs to, you say like, oh, well, he needs to address this with the fans. And it's like, well, look, the Nets could trade him tomorrow. And does he have to address the fans then? Do the team have to address the Nets fans that loved Kyrie? No, they say, thank you, Kyrie, for your service. Move on. Right. And this is for a player that's well behaved and perfect. They can still just say, move on. So the only thing that really and truly matters is that the people in the locker room understand that Kyrie is there, that he's locked in, that he's focused on the final goal. And for this team, it should be winning a championship. I agree that you do owe, there's a mentality that you owe fans, but ultimately the only people that truly matter when you're on this journey are the people within the locker room. Don't be disrespectful. Now, if you don't like him, don't watch the games. If you don't like him, don't buy his shoes. If you don't like him, don't buy his jersey. That's one thing. you have the right as a consumer to not do that. But to say that, like, I need personal time off and I owe it to fans to address that, I feel like that's a misconception.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.